Welcome to A Sound Constitution on 101.7 CHLY Radio.
A health promotion show brought to you by VIU nursing students.
Over the next hour, we will be demystifying health issues.
Thanks for tuning in.
Good morning, listeners. This is Brittany, and I'm sitting here with Allison. Today, we are coming through your radio waves to cover the topic of holistic health, which, simply put, is recognizing the connection between and caring for the needs of the body, mind, and soul. We turn to the College of Registered Nurses of British Columbia, the CRNBC, to help us explain a bit about the role healthcare providers, specifically nurses, have in providing clients with information surrounding their holistic health. The CRNBC found that most often clients are asking for complementary and alternative health care. This includes treatments or interventions not generally considered part of mainstream health practice in BC. Complementary practices are those used along with mainstream health care, whereas alternative practices are used in place of mainstream healthcare practices. Nurses have a professional obligation to provide safe, competent care, and this duty extends to activities associated with complementary and alternative care. Sometimes clients ask nurses for their opinions and information about specific holistic practices. Nurses can help support clients in understanding their health problems and certainly ways to promote their health. Today, we want to be part of the decision-making process in supporting our listeners to make informed, evidence-based decisions about all aspects of their health.
Thanks, Brittany. That's a great way to sum up today's topic. Holistic health is something that interests me because I feel that so often people are seen as just a set of signs and symptoms, and healthcare professionals treat only what is seen and heard. But what about all the other external factors that influence one's health, like their mental health, exercise and nutrition, and their social well-being? How come mainstream health practices have become so focused on the direct treatment of an ailment with drugs? What about alternative and complementary medicines that worked so well throughout history? I often wonder how people way back in history could survive rather well without the big pharmaceutical companies knocking at their doors, giving them a painkiller. Why do healthcare professionals not recommend alternative practices, and why are they not always covered by insurance, when they often work the same or better than traditional medical practices? This is just a streaming consciousness that goes off in my head in the middle of the night when I can't sleep, and this inspires me to be a better nurse every day. I want to see people as a whole being, thus the need to address the wide variety of information we'll be covering in today's show about holistic health. So, what interests you about holistic health, Brittany?
I wanted to make sure we talk about how holistic health and well-being is more than looking at natural ways to treat illness. Holistic health is about all of the different ways individuals find to positively impact various aspects of who they are. We all have different priorities. For example, someone may find going out and socializing with friends to be a recharging experience and important for their mental health, whereas another person may need quiet and solitude with a good book or a walk in nature. To me, holistic health involves paying attention to things that we don't often consider until we're already ill, like sleep, nutrition, spending time with friends and family, or those things we often see as pampering or indulgences. Holistic health may mean changing the way we think about these things. There was a journal article by Kai Lin at the University of Delaware. It talks about how medicalization is explained as the process in which a problem is defined in medical terms, described in medical language, understood through the adoption of medical framework, or treated with medical intervention, usually because of a perceived need to treat something when it is seen as pathological or diseased. There are well-documented studies on demedicalization. Examples of this involve revisions of the Diagnostics and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. This is also known as the DSM. There's the 5th edition out now. The DSM is the handbook used by healthcare professionals as the authoritative guide to the diagnosis of mental disorders. It contains descriptions, symptoms, and other criteria for diagnosing mental disorders, so you can see why categorizing something as a mental disorder, like was previously done with homosexuality, is a problem. There have also been revisions of the International Classification of Diseases, or the ICD, for the same reason. The WHO, or the World Health Organization, says this is due out by 2018. Many examples of demedicalized conditions involve sexuality. They include, but are not limited to, things like masturbation, male circumcision, erectile dysfunction, breastfeeding, and reproductive rights in childbirth. Case studies of medicalization predominantly identify the medical professionals as the primary force behind the medicalization of these conditions. Although, as you mentioned, Allison, in recent years, the engines of medicalization seem to be shifting to pharmaceutical companies, consumers, biotechnology, genetics, and other fields of interest. Many instances of demedicalization serve as the important first step towards destigmatizing aspects of human life that are often quite normal. So, what does medicalization have to do with holistic health? It raises the question, what or who is really in need of treatment? Perhaps it is our overarching societal views and social conditionings that are in need of this treatment.
Thanks, Brittany. Just a reminder that any information that we provide you with today is in no means meant to substitute the advice of your healthcare provider. Always seek medical attention if you are at all questioning anything going in or on your body. So, the placebo effect. Something that is constantly on my mind when I go into the doctors for a prescription. Are they giving me sugar pills in replacement for the actual medication? And my mind is playing tricks on me, telling me that it is working? I know this might be complete bogus, but it is something too important to consider when looking into alternative and complementary modalities. Power suggestion can provide your brain with a lot of trickery. Here's an excellent clip by Ted Ed on the power of the placebo effect.
In 1996, 56 volunteers took part in a study to test a new painkiller called Trivaricane. On each subject, one index finger was covered in the new painkiller, while the other remained untouched. Then, both were squeezed in painful clamps. The subjects reported that the treated finger hurt less than the untreated one. This shouldn't be surprising, except Trivaricane wasn't actually a painkiller, just a fake concoction with no pain-easing properties at all. What made the students so sure this dummy drug had worked? The answer lies in the placebo effect, an unexplained phenomenon wherein drugs, treatments, and therapies that aren't supposed to have an effect and are often fake miraculously make people feel better. Doctors have used the term placebo since the 1700s, when they realized the power of fake drugs to improve people's symptoms. These were administered when proper drugs weren't available, or if someone imagined they were ill. In fact, the word placebo means "I shall please" in Latin, hinting at a history of placating troubled patients. Placebos had to mimic the real treatments in order to be convincing, so they took the form of sugar pills, water-filled injections, and even sham surgeries. Soon, doctors realized that duping people in this way had another use: in clinical trials. By the 1950s, researchers were using placebos as a standard tool to test new treatments. To evaluate a new drug, for instance, half the patients in a trial might receive the real pill. The other half would get a placebo that looked the same. Since patients wouldn't know whether they'd received the real thing or a dud, the results wouldn't be biased, researchers believed. Then, if the new drug showed a significant benefit compared to the placebo, it was proved effective. Nowadays, it's less common to use placebos this way because of ethical concerns. If it's possible to compare a new drug against an older version or another existing drug, that's preferable to simply giving someone no treatment at all, especially if they have a serious ailment. In these cases, placebos are often used as a control to fine-tune the trial so that the effects of the new versus the old or alternative drug can be precisely compared. But of course, we know that placebos exert their own influence too. Thanks to the placebo effect, patients have experienced relief from a range of ailments, including heart problems, asthma, and severe pain, even though all they'd received was a fake drug or sham surgery. We're still trying to understand how. Some believe that instead of being real, the placebo effect is merely confused with other factors, like patients trying to please doctors by falsely reporting improvements. On the other hand, researchers think that if a person believes a fake treatment is real, their expectations of recovery actually do trigger physiological factors that improve their symptoms. Placebos seem to be capable of causing measurable change in blood pressure, heart rate, and the release of pain-reducing chemicals like endorphins. That explains why subjects in pain studies often say placebos ease their discomfort. Placebos may even reduce levels of stress hormones like adrenaline, which can slow the harmful effects of an ailment. So shouldn't we celebrate the placebo's bizarre benefits? Not necessarily. If somebody believes a fake treatment has cured them, they may miss out on drugs or therapies that are proven to work. Plus, the positive effects may fade over time, and often do. Placebos also cloud clinical results, making scientists even more motivated to discover how they wield such power over us. Despite everything we know about the human body, there are still some strange and enduring mysteries, like the placebo effect. So what other undiscovered marvels might we contain? It's easy to investigate the world around us and forget that one of its most fascinating subjects lies right behind our eyes.
That was a clip from TED Ed teaching us more about placebo. It's now time to take a walk down memory lane. Here's a timeline of alternative medicine throughout the early 19th century up to today. Did you know that the history of alternative medicine can be traced back to some 5,000 years? When Chinese and Indian people discovered traditional and Ayurvedic therapies to heal the body and the mind, the real objective was to identify the deterrents in the body system which cause the ailments and strengthen the body's immunity. The therapies mainly incorporated self-care, lifestyle changes, and various preventative measures, which are still very relevant today. In the early 19th century, prayer was considered one of the strongest alternative medicines. It was thought that the blessings of God was one of the greatest weapons to heal ailments. Prayer is still a large part of many people's lives and provides many with a great belief in knowing that there is something larger than themselves. Alternative medicine witnessed the bleakest prospects in the 20th century. It was in this period that alternative medicine was dismissed as mere quackery, blind faith, and was replaced by mainstream medical treatment. Mainstream medical treatment proved effective, and many started visiting doctors to seek instant relief to their ailments. Extensive research was conducted to find relief to critical diseases, and it was found that many medications worked wonders for ailing patients. The later half of the 20th century saw the resurgence of alternative forms of treatment. Extensive research has been done in the field, which once again proved the efficacy of the alternative medicine. The benefits of alternative forms of treatment soon began to be recognized by commoners, and alternative medicines were deemed at par with mainstream treatments. Therefore, the mainstream medical treatments and the alternative treatments are now equally ruling the market.
That was Allison with a little info on the history of alternative medicine. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to A Sound Constitution on 101.7 CHLY Radio in Nanaimo. An article in the Globe and Mail discussed music and its healing powers. It tells us that music therapists use pitch, rhythm, melody, and lyrics in specific ways with the explicit intent of affecting cognition or emotion in the person who is hearing the music. Music therapy became a clinical profession in the 1940s, after doctors and nurses noticed that war veterans suffering from emotional and physical trauma responded well to musicians who gave volunteer performances in hospitals. Nevertheless, the profession spent decades on the fringes of medical science, until the early 1990s when advances in neuroimaging technologies confirmed that musical activities had profound effects on the brain. Since then, researchers at the frontiers of music therapy have developed strong evidence that musical interventions can reduce chronic pain, help stroke patients regain speech, increase social engagement in children with autism, help patients with acquired brain injury or Parkinson's disease improve their gait, calm Alzheimer's patients, improve commitment to treatment for people with addictions, and ease suffering from clinical depression and anxiety. It really is its own science, said Dr. Larry Frisk, an associate professor of population and public health at the University of British Columbia. I personally don't know what I would do without music. It's an important part of my life and certainly one of the ways I attend to my holistic health. So, on that note, let's have a little music break for the good of our bodies, minds, and souls. Here's a longtime favorite of mine by the Canadian band Big Wreck called That Song.
song.
That was Big Wreck with their song called That Song. Check them out on the link posted to our Facebook page at A Sound Constitution.
Brain formation!
Welcome to Brain Formation, the segment where we fill your brain with helpful information. Let's start with naturopathic medicine. So, what is it? It is the belief that the body can heal itself. It aims to improve health, prevent disease, and treat illness through the use of organic foods and exercise, a healthy, balanced lifestyle, and the use of treatments from other areas of complementary medicine. Naturopathy was developed in the late 1800s in the United States. Today, both naturopathic doctors and traditional naturopaths practice this type of medicine. A licensed naturopathic doctor, an ND, attends a 4-year graduate-level naturopathic medical school where he or she studies basic sciences and therapies such as herbal medicine, homeopathy, and bodywork. Naturopaths may attend training programs that vary in length and content, but they usually aren't licensed. Most naturopathic doctors believe in natural therapies such as nutrition and lifestyle counseling. They may also suggest herbal medicines, homeopathic dilutions, physical medication, for example, therapeutic massage, or nutritional supplements. In some provinces, naturopathic doctors can also prescribe medications such as antibiotics. Off to you now, Brittany.
Oh, I thank you, Allison. What about acupuncture? Well, acupuncture is a form of traditional Chinese medicine that has been practiced for centuries. It's based on the theory that energy, called qi, flows through and around your body along pathways called meridians. Acupuncturists believe that illness occurs when something blocks or creates imbalances within your qi. This is used as a way to unblock or influence qi and helps it flow back into balance. Acupuncture is done by placing very thin needles into your skin at specific points on your body. This influences the energy flow. Sometimes heat, pressure, or mild electrical current is used along with needles. What happens during acupuncture? Well, an acupuncture provider will give you an examination and ask questions about pain and how well you are functioning. They will also ask you about your overall health. Then your provider will look for the places called points on your body to access the qi that is blocked or not quite flowing right. Each of the points relates to certain health problems or functions of the body. The acupuncturist will look for landmarks on your body using certain muscles or bones, for example, to find the points so that he or she can place the needles. After the points are located, they will quickly tap the needles into your skin. There will be several needles used, and some may be placed deeper than others, depending on what the provider believes is needed to restore the energy flow. Every provider is different, but in most cases, treatment lasts for 15 minutes to an hour. You may have several visits to complete your treatment, and some people have ongoing visits. What does it feel like? There may be slight pressure when the needle goes in. Some people find that it doesn't hurt. Tingling, numbness, itching, and tenderness may also occur. Providers believe that this is a sign the qi has been accessed. After the needle is placed, it may be rolled back and forth, and heat or an electrical current may be applied. What is acupuncture used for? Pain relief and treatment of various health conditions. You can use it by itself or as part of a treatment program. Studies have found promising results in the use of acupuncture to treat nausea and vomiting related to pregnancy, chemotherapy, and post-surgery pain. Off to you, Allison.
Thank you, Brittany. So let's talk about homeopathy. What is it? Homeopathy, or homeopathic medicine, is a medical philosophy and practice based on the idea that the body has the ability to heal itself. Homeopathy was founded in the late 1700s in Germany and has been widely practiced throughout Europe. Homeopathic medicine views symptoms of illness as normal responses of the body as it attempts to regain health. Homeopathy is based on the idea that like cures like. That is, if a substance causes a symptom in a healthy person, giving the person a very small amount of the same substance may cure the illness. In theory, a homeopathic dose enhances the body's normal healing and self-regulatory processes. These remedies are derived from substances that come from plants, minerals, or animals such as red onion, arnica, which is mountain herb, crushed whole bees, white arsenic, poison ivy, belladonna, which is a deadly nightshade, and stinging nettle. Homeopathic remedies are often formulated as sugar pellets to be placed under the tongue. They may also be in other forms such as ointments, gels, drops, creams, or tablets. Treatments are individualized or tailored to each person. It is not uncommon for different people with the same condition to receive different treatments. So, what is it used for? Some people have used homeopathy to maintain health and to treat a wide range of long-term illnesses, such as allergies, atopic dermatitis, rheumatoid arthritis, and irritable bowel syndrome. They have also used it to treat minor injuries such as cuts and scrapes and muscle strains or sprains. Homeopathic treatment is not considered appropriate for illnesses such as cancer, heart disease, major infections, or emergencies. Homeopathy has been widely used in India, England, and other European countries. Kind of funky, isn't it? Off to you, Brittany.
And now on to chiropractic care. What is it? Well, chiropractics is a system of treating disease by manipulation of the vertebral column. Chiropractics is based on the theory that most diseases are caused by pressure on the nerves because of faulty alignment in the bones, especially the vertebrae. The nerves are thus prevented from communicating to other organs of the body via neural impulses. So why see a chiropractor? Well, if your life is disrupted due to pain in the back or neck, headaches, sprains or strains, or other problems involving your muscles, joints, and nervous system, chiropractic care can help. Injuries to the spine can happen at any stage of life and for various reasons, including car crashes, workplace, and sports injuries even. Simple everyday tasks such as going for a walk or washing the dishes have the potential to cause pain or discomfort that many of us just decide to live with. I actually threw my back out once making the bed. Sometimes these aches and pains even prevent us from working or doing the things we love. You don't have to live with the pain. Chiropractics can help you recover from these conditions and treat the underlying cause. It is one of the fastest and most effective forms of care available to address spine and spine-related problems. As an active participant in your health, you also have a role to play in your recovery. From posture correction to stretches and even nutrition advice, your doctor of chiropractics will walk you through a comprehensive treatment plan to help you get well and stay well. Chiropractors are primary healthcare providers that have the skills and expertise to address these concerns. You don't need a referral from a medical doctor to see a chiropractor, and in many cases, coverage is available through ICBC, WorkSafe BC, and extended health plans to help pay for treatment costs. Visiting a chiropractor at the first sign of injury or pain can help speed up recovery.
That was so awesome, Brittany. It's so great to have a broad overview of some of the most popular alternative health practices available out there. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to A Sound Constitution on 101.7 CHLY in Nanaimo. So listeners, are you getting enough vitamins in your diet? Or are you supplementing the ones you are lacking with those big, stinky multivitamins? Vitamin sources come from foods and nutritional supplements, but it is important to remember to always consult your doctor about the vitamins and supplements that you are taking when reviewing your medication history. Here's a short clip from TED Ed on how vitamins work. Enjoy!
A, C, E, D, B, K. No, this isn't some random out-of-order alphabet. These are vitamins. And just like letters build words, they're the building blocks that keep the body running. Vitamins are organic compounds we need to ingest in small amounts to keep functioning. They're the body's builders, defenders, and maintenance workers, helping it to build muscle and bone, make use of nutrients, capture and use energy, and heal wounds. If you need convincing about vitamin value, just consider the plight of olden days sailors who had no access to vitamin-rich fresh produce. They got scurvy, but vitamin C, abundant in fruits and vegetables, was the simple antidote to this disease. While bacteria, fungi, and plants produce their own vitamins, our bodies can't, so we have to get them from other sources. So how does the body get vitamins from out there into here? That's dependent on the form these compounds take. Vitamins come in two types, lipid-soluble and water-soluble, and the difference between them determines how the body transports and stores vitamins and gets rid of the excess. The water-solubles are vitamin C and B-complex vitamins that are made up of 8 different types that each do something unique. These are dissolved in the watery parts of fruits, vegetables, and grains, meaning their passage through the body is relatively straightforward. Once inside the system, these foods are digested, and the vitamins within them are taken up directly by the bloodstream. Because blood plasma is water-based, water-soluble vitamins C and B have their transport cut out for them and can move around freely within the body. For lipid-soluble vitamins, dissolved in fat and found in foods like dairy, butter, and oils, this trip into the blood is a little more adventurous. These vitamins make it through the stomach and the intestine, where an acidic substance called bile flows in from the liver, breaking up the fat and preparing it for absorption through the intestinal wall. Because fat-soluble vitamins can't make use of the blood's watery nature, they need something else to move them around. And that comes from proteins that attach to the vitamins and act like couriers, transporting fat solubles into the blood and around the body. So this difference between water or fat-soluble vitamins determines how they get into the blood, but also how they're stored or ejected from the body. The system's ability to circulate water-soluble vitamins in the bloodstream so easily means that most of them can be passed out equally easily via the kidneys. Because of that, most water-soluble vitamins need to be replenished on a daily basis through the food we eat. But fat-soluble vitamins have staying power because they can be packed into the liver and in fat cells. The body treats these parts like a pantry, storing the vitamins there and rationing them out when needed, meaning we shouldn't overload on this type of vitamin because the body is generally well stocked. Once we've figured the logistics of transport and storage, the vitamins are left to do the work they came here to do in the first place. Some, like many of the B-complex vitamins, make up coenzymes, whose job it is to help enzymes release the energy from food. Other B vitamins then help the body to use that energy. From vitamin C, you get the ability to fight infection and make collagen, a kind of tissue that forms bones and teeth and heals wounds. Vitamin A helps make white blood cells, key in the body's defense, helps shape bones, and improves vision by keeping the cells of the eye in check. Vitamin D gathers calcium and phosphorus so we can make bones, and vitamin E works as an antioxidant, getting rid of elements in the body that can damage cells. Finally, from vitamin K, we score the ability to clot blood, since it helps make the proteins that do this job. Without this vitamin variety, humans face deficiencies that cause a range of problems, like fatigue, nerve damage, heart disorders, or diseases like rickets and scurvy. On the other hand, too much of any vitamin can cause toxicity in the body. So there goes the myth that loading yourself with supplements is a great idea. In reality, it's all about getting the balance right and hitting that vitamin jackpot.
And now for some good news.
Welcome to Good News, the segment where we talk about the good news going on in the media or in our community. We asked Melissa Milne, a nursing student peer from Healthy U, to talk about some of the holistic health options available for students at VIU. Here is what she had to say.
Okay, so I'm a third-year nursing student currently working with Healthy U here on the Nanaimo campus, and I just wanted to bring campus awareness to some of the activities that is actually offered through the campus. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the VIU gym. If you are currently enrolled in classes, you actually have free access to the gym facilities and equipment. This includes the gym itself, the gymnasium, which has open gym hours, which is accessible through their online. If you want to look up hours, you can have locker and towel rentals, as well as you have access to the fitness and weight rooms upstairs, and there's actually a multi-purpose room downstairs as well. And it's actually really cool. Over the summer, if you are a returning student in September, you can pay a total of $20 for the entire summer to actually use these facilities. Next up is mindful meditation, which happens on Fridays, 11:30 to 12:15 in Building 200, room 107B, and their next one coming up is April 7th. If you guys are prepping for exams, Wellness Wednesday is doing an exam first aid kit on Wednesday, April the 5th 11:30 to 1:30 in the gym lobby, so go check that out. And finally, many of you might really enjoy having some dogs around. So on April 3rd in the lower cafeteria, they're going to do dog therapy from 11 to 1. So go check that out. Finally, there's also counseling services on campus for anyone that would maybe like to go talk through anything. It could be course requirements, course setup, anything personal going on in your life. If you want to stop by Building 200, floor 3, you can make appointments from 8:30 in the morning to 4 p.m. at night, or you can give them a call at 250-740-6116, and there's actually urgent spots available too from day to day if you want to just drop in if you have anything really urgent you need to talk to anybody about, and that's about 25 minutes. Finally, don't forget to watch out for the summer activity guide. If you didn't get to meet anyone over this past year, maybe you're too busy in activities, it's a great way to meet new people for the upcoming year.
Have you ever heard of that hippie stuff that heals everything? We're talking about essential oils. I sat down with essential oil guru Katie Wall to gain some insight into this upcoming and innovative health modality. Hi, Katie. Thanks for coming and sitting with me today.
You're welcome, Allison. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Awesome. So I'm just going to start off by asking you if you could tell me a little bit about yourself and how/why you got into essential oils.
Yeah, absolutely. So just from the get-go, I just want to start off by saying that I don't have any medical training. I am just a young adult who loves to be able to support myself in a healthy way that is in a non-pharmaceutical as well, something that is different and natural. So I started using essential oils because my mom is a bit of a hippie and she was forcing me to use them while I was sleeping because I was waking up to anxiety attacks. So I was diffusing lavender because it's calming, and it was the first time that I was able to sleep throughout the night without waking up from an anxiety attack.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's kind of what started me on this lifestyle, I guess.
That's awesome. I like how you call it a lifestyle, not just like a treatment, you know?
Well, and that's what it is. It's a way of living healthily. It's a way of living naturally without having like regular household cleaners. It's a way that you can, help your mental health and just have a really better general lifestyle.
That's awesome. So can you tell me a little bit about like what are essential oils?
So essential oils are the part of the plant that protects the plant. It's what gives it immunity. So we're essentially using what the plant uses to protect itself to protect us.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so we are using like citrus peels. We're using leaves, twigs, branches, different parts of the plant that would protect itself. And then they are distilled, either a cold press or a steam distill. And then they are very potent little drops of essential oils that are able to help us with all different types of things.
That is so cool. So what are some misconceptions that you've heard or seen people say about essential oils?
The biggest one is that all essential oils are the same. There's many different types of essential oils. There's different grades.
Okay.
So just because a essential oil is a therapeutic grade, it doesn't mean that it's food grade. Doesn't mean that you can necessarily eat it. So when you're using essential oils, you need to make sure that you're using one that you're comfortable with putting on your skin, with digesting, with using however it is that you're going to use it. The second one is that you can't use essential oils on your pets.
Oh, you can?
You can, depending on the brand.
Oh, wow.
So depending on which kind you're using, I use essential oils on my German Shepherd all the time. You just have to make sure that you dilute it properly.
So what kind of things do you use them for can you use them for on your pets?
Really anything you can use them for on humans. So if your dog has anxiety, right? So separation anxiety, a lot of dogs have that, to help support their immunity. So if your dog has a cold, right? If they're going to go hang out with other dogs, they could potentially get sick. Any type of like fungal or bacterial infection, things like that.
And obviously you can use essential oils for those kind of infections on humans as well?
Yes, you can. Another misconception is that you can't use essential oils on children or the elderly. You can, but because their liver processes things at a slower rate than an adult.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure that it's diluted properly for them.
So does it kind of like give you instructions on how to dilute them for the more special populations?
It can. I know that through the company we're working with, they give us a lot of training.
Okay.
And so we have either actual classes that teach you how to use them, we have books, we have pamphlets, different things that have a lot of information for you.
Awesome. That is so cool. So I know you kind of touched on it a bit, but can you use essential oils in conjunction with other modalities like drugs, food? Like, does it interact with anything?
That kind of depends on each person.
Okay.
So I know for myself, I'm on heart medication, so I needed to make sure that the oils weren't going to interfere with my medication. So I went to a pharmacist who is up to date on essential oils. The medicine shop has a really good pharmacist that actually knows how to use like herbal medicine and essential oils with pharmaceuticals.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I know that like my grandfather can't use grapefruit essential oil because of the medication he's on.
Yes, of course.
Right? So it's just knowing what it is that you're on and then being smart about it. So asking the right people to know if it's something that you can use.
Yeah, that is excellent to know. So in what ways can you use essential oils? Like, can you eat them? Can you put them on you? How do they work?
So the 3 ways that we tell people you can use oils are aromatically, topically, and internally.
Okay.
So you can diffuse it in a cold water diffuser. So those are the bubbly things that you see in people's living rooms sometimes. And so that will puff it out into the air so you breathe it in. You can use it topically. You want to make sure that you dilute the oils though, because they work better when you dilute them, actually.
What do you dilute them in?
Coconut oil. We use fractionated coconut oil, so it's just been brought down another step so it's liquid and doesn't get hard.
Oh, gotcha.
Ever. But I also have a non-scented moisturizer, and I just use it with that, right?
Oh, cool. Good to know.
Yeah, and then depending on the oil, again, depending on the brand, you can ingest them.
Okay.
So you can either mix them in with your water, you could cook with them, you could put them in a gel cap and take them in a pill form. Depending on what you want. My mom loves making Thai food with them. She uses lemongrass all the time.
Oh, that's so
to
cool.
make soup and stuff. So it's, yeah.
So you get the flavor of it, but then you also kind of get the benefits of the essential oil itself.
Exactly.
That is so cool. Can you give me some examples of oils and their uses?
Yeah, so essential oils are pretty much everywhere when you actually think about it. So lavender is probably one of the most popular ones. So something that people don't know is the active ingredient in Ativan is lavender. But because pharmaceutical reps can't patent a plant, they took the active ingredient and made Ativan. So lavender is good for calming properties, right? It's good to help with your sleep. It's good to help with mental health and with skincare. It's good for rashes. I once was in a 5K run, which was also an agility course, and I had rope burn all over my arms. Just put a little bit of lavender on it, and within seconds, the swelling was down, and so was the redness.
That's amazing.
It was really, really cool. I know a big one for students is Intune. It is a focus blend. Okay. So it's got a bunch of different stuff in it. The main ingredient in it is frankincense because it supports your brain health.
Okay.
So it's an oil that my fiance really used when he was in school to help him focus. So it not only helped him in class to actually stay focused, but helped him to remember in exams to be able to kind of clunker down.
Yeah, and you do hear about people saying like different scents can stimulate your like your brain function and your memory. So if you were to use something while you were studying and use it while you're taking an exam, that kind of brings up that memory for you.
Exactly. So I know some people just like to use peppermint because it's something that stimulates the brain.
Yeah.
So they smell peppermint when they're studying and then they bring it out and they smell it again when they're in their test just to kind of draw back the memories.
That's so cool. Any other examples that you have?
Lemon,
Okay.
right? Lemon is different than when you actually have a lemon like fruit. So this is used out of, or lemon essential oil is pressed out of the rind, not the fruit.
Okay.
So when you drink lemon water out of the actual juice, you're putting a lot of citric acid into your body.
Oh,
when you're using lemon oil, you're not. So you can drink it without wrecking the enamel on your teeth.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really good to know.
It's also a very strong cleaning agent. So you can wipe down your countertops with it. Or, my mom mixes a few different essential oils, lemon being one of them, with Castile soap. And that's what we use for our laundry detergent. We don't use laundry soap, we use that.
Cool. So in a way that might also help the environment too, right?
Absolutely, because you're putting natural sources back into the environment. You're
Yeah.
not putting any chemicals into them.
That's so cool. It's so holistic, which is the topic of today's show. So yeah, that is so awesome.
Perfect for it, really.
Yeah. So do you have any great success stories that you would like to share?
I think the one that first comes to mind is my fiance Andrew was driving and he got 3 bee stings along his back. So he came over and he was like, these hurt like crazy. I don't know what to do. And I had read that lavender helps with like any type of bug bite or sting. So we put lavender on it, and then I actually put peppermint on top of the lavender because peppermint will drive any oil in deeper into your body.
Oh, okay.
And within seconds, the pain was gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they didn't swell, they didn't blister, nothing. Like they were just gone, really.
Yeah.
Another really cool one was my grandfather went to the doctor with an infection, and he was prescribed a medication that was going to take like 36 to 48 hours to start working.
Yeah.
My mom went home and started using oregano and melaleuca, which is also known as tea tree oil,
Okay.
on him. And within 24 hours, when they went back to the doctor, my doctor said that he was amazed with how quickly my grandfather was healing.
Really?
They actually never filled the prescription for the medication because the problem resolved itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about the one that I hear sometimes about how a couple drops of lavender can replace an Ativan?
Absolutely. So you want to make sure that the lavender you're using is certified pure therapeutic grade.
Okay.
So that means that you can ingest it and it's going to work for your mental health for that type of
Okay.
aromatherapy. So 2 drops of lavender under your tongue can replace an Ativan. And I have firsthand experience for using it. And I have a friend who lives in Victoria. She's on Ativan every day. I gave her a sample of lavender and she ended up using that instead because she noticed that she was much more awake with it. With
Okay.
Ativan, you get that, groggy.
Kind of feeling like you're hungover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with lavender, you don't get that.
So speaking of how essential oils can kind of replace some of the big pharmaceutical stuff that's going on, how does it compare in price? Because I know that a lot of times some medications are covered by insurance, some of them aren't. So is it equivalent? Is it close?
Depends on the brand that you're buying from.
Okay.
So the company that I work through, their 10-year plan is to make it so that all essential oils can be used under insurance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're actually going through all the bills and all of the legal process in order
Okay.
to make that happen. Some oils can be used on insurance, but most of them can't be.
Okay.
However, per dose, these oils are very inexpensive.
Yeah.
Because there's 280 drops in a 15 ml bottle, and you
Oh, wow.
normally only need a drop a day.
Okay.
So you have almost a year's supply if you buy one bottle. So, a bottle of lemon is like $15, right? So you've got lemon for a year for
is so
for
crazy.
very inexpensive. So I know when I buy my monthly order, I'm like, oh wow, it's a little much.
Yeah.
But I look at how long these oils last and the diversity that each oil has, because one oil has so many different uses.
Yeah.
So it's really amazing with how inexpensive it is in the long run.
Yeah, that is awesome. And I love that they're trying to get it covered by insurance because so many times the holistic kind of health alternative medicines that we are looking at aren't covered by insurance.
Exactly. So it's really in their vision to be able to have holistic products be covered under insurance.
That is so awesome. So, how do you promote your essential oil business?
Honestly, I don't. I, share the oils with my friends, and then they become so in love and so passionate about them that
Yeah.
they go and share them. It's not something that I have to push. It just naturally happens.
That is so cool. I think, word of mouth is definitely a big thing, and hearing the success stories adds a lot of depth and what we call in nursing phenomenological evidence. So, it works so well.
Yeah.
So how can somebody get a hold of you if they are interested in essential oils?
I'm on Facebook, so I have a Facebook page. It's called Essentially Free. So if you want to look me up there, feel free to. You can message me if you have any questions about anything that I touched on. I spoke very vaguely here. I'm able to speak much more in depth if you send me a message. And yeah, so Facebook's really the best way.
Perfect, and we'll post the link to your page onto our Facebook page later in the day. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add before we sign off?
Just that if you're interested in essential oils, really make sure that you're using one that isn't from Walmart or a health food store. They say that they are some like pure essential oils, but I've noticed that there's fillers in a lot of them. So you're not 100% sure what you're putting on your body. And even if you're using it topically, even if it's just going on your skin's the largest organ in your body.
Exactly.
So you need to be careful.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for coming and talking to me today.
You're welcome.
If you're just tuning in, you're listening to A Sound Constitution on 101.7 CHLY in Nanaimo. And that was Katie Wall telling us more about essential oils. Thanks, Katie. You have provided us and our listeners with a great alternative health practice that goes outside of big pharmaceuticals and is the beginning of a new revolution in health and wellness. If you're interested in getting a hold of Katie, be sure to like her Facebook page at Essentially Free. Speaking of new revolutions, here is Grand Prairie's Taz Manchud and their song, New Revolution.
Hold on, get ready. It's time for a new revolution now. Hold on, get ready. Let's make a new revolution. And back in the times where was so corrupt and filled with crime. Judgment supreme, we take years and minds. We pray for tranquility, things to be sublime. Babylon system make robots and mimes. Get to need a revelation and a lot that's divine. Tasman to down the set, this beg you open up your mind. Hold on, get ready. It's time for a new revolution now. Hold on, get ready. Let's make a new revolution.
This it won't last forever. Call the nation the nation. We got a world celebration. No matter where you come from, we'll fill every stadium. In the rain or in the sun, we will be as one. Hold on, get ready. It's time for a new revolution now. Hold on, get ready. Let's make a new revolution sound.
Thanks for listening to A Sound Constitution on 101.7 CHLY Radio.
For more information, questions, or comments, please visit our Facebook page at A Sound Constitution.
Tune in again next Thursday morning from 10 to 11.
Stay healthy, Vancouver Island.